It's a celebration today. Good morning. Welcome to the Tripped Out Totally Dietz Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us and glad to have the folks from Sports Map Radio along with us. And we are presented by BetUS.com. Listen up, sports bettors. Your favorite sports book is back for our 29th year of NBA action with the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%. BetUS offers members the opportunities to cash in on all your favorite sports, including NBA, UFC, and MLB. If you're looking for live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds, boosters, props, and parlays, we got them. How about fast payouts and exceptional one-to-one customer service? We got that too. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. And also presented by Invader Coffee, for the coffee lover who wants quality coffee with no BS and no filter. Invader Coffee is an ultra-premium, veteran-owned coffee company proudly delivering the best coffee to your hard-earned money can buy. Visit invadercoffee.com. And if you visit snowmanmultimediasports.com and click on the Invader Coffee logo on any of our pages, including our front page, you will get a chance to have a great discount and you will be helping the show out as well. We're going to flip this show upside down because normally we bring this man in during segment 3 on our Thursday edition, but we're going to lead off by getting Totally Dietz.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Dietz.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
And here is that full-blown fibrillation presented by Invader Coffee. The one, the only Chris Dietz joins us right now. Like I said, we're flipping this show upside down. We got a lot of sports news to get to, but Chris Dietz wanted to come on early because we're going to celebrate the life of Tina Turner. Good morning, Dietz. How are you, my man?
Good morning, Snowman. And as I said to you this morning, and I see it already in the chat. I know things happened on the ice last night. Mm-hmm. I know things happened on the diamond. It doesn't matter. The life of Tina Turner was and still is amazing.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to be said. I was thinking about, like, how do you put her into words? There's only one way to do it. Anything that comes to mind when you think of Tina Turner, simply the best.
Yeah.
Better than all the rest. That says it enough right there, then and there. She said it herself.
Yeah.
And no one has been. I was thinking about this on the way in. There's not I can't think of a single person who has been through as much crap in her life as Tina Turner was, and to rise above everything that she had to do, rise, fall, rise again. She is simply just amazing, and I'm not the right person for these kind of moments, because when I know everybody handles loss differently. Everybody handles someone's death differently. I'm a different cat. It's not. I don't think of it as we're going to celebrate the death of. No, we're not celebrating her death. We're celebrating the life of Tina Turner.
Yeah,
that's always how I thought. I think of. Everybody's always somber at a funeral and all of that. I'm always like, man, remember this moment and remember that moment. And it's the remembrance. That's what it's all about.
Favorite song by Tina Turner for you is?
Oh, yeah, I just said it. Simply the best.
Simply the best.
It just hits on so many levels.
The first album that my mother bought with with Tina Turner, Private Dancer.
Mm.
I didn't think I would get turned on to Tina Turner's music, but when Mom bought that album and I listened to, of course, the legendary hit "What's Love Got to Do with It," and I listened to the title song "Private Dancer," I was hooked. I was hooked after that.
You think about that. You think about that album, and you think about just that song, "Private Dancer." Who else could sing that song, portray that story? We've kind of lost that. We talked about it last week with songs that make us feel good, but just songs that tell a story.
Yeah,
we've kind of lost that in not just we talk about it all the time with media and entertainment, but on the music side of it, we've lost the ability to tell a story through a song, and there's no better. That song is such a. It has so many moments of just telling the entire story and being a triumphant song.
Yeah.
But if you made that song now, it would be like a downer moment. But not when Tina Turner sings it. Tina Turner turns it from she turns it into a positive element. And that was something that was always prevalent whenever you heard a Tina Turner song.
Yeah.
What's Love Got to Do with It?
Legendary hit.
Private Dancer, like I said, simply the best. It's just that's what she was able to do. Positivity was her thing.
It's a legendary that song right there. What's Love Got to Do with It? Like I said, that's one of the first two songs that I listened to off the album Private Dancer. All I can say was legendary because of course, being as old as I am, we had the record player, and of course we had the LP, and I nearly scratched the record listening to What's Love Got to Do with It 500 times in a day. I'd listen to it before I go to school, and I listened to it after. I was hooked on that song. I mean, yeah, I was hooked on my comedy albums that my mother introduced me to, but I had to have Tina Turner to begin my afternoon when I got home, to get me through that one. Private Dancer, Be Good to Me on that album as well. I mean, that album for the longest time, I say for my full sophomore year, got me through sophomore year.
The inspiration that she was, and just that she had, and it's something that comes through every time you hear a Tina Turner song. You can hear the passion that she puts into it, and every single person that hears that song has something else that comes out of it. It wasn't. She didn't have, and you can't talk about Tina Turner without talking about the trials and tribulations that she went through,
right?
With Ike and all of that, but that never came through in her music. No. It was never, I'm going to take my revenge out on this. It was, let me put this out there, and whatever feeling the listener has is what drives the song. And that's the amazing part that I find about Tina Turner's music, is that it's universal. It's not this problem, this happened, this no, it's whatever you want to get out of it. So that's just what made her, like you said, made her a legend.
I mean, what was the first Tina Turner song that got you hooked on to her and her music? What was that one song?
Well, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. What's love got to do with it? But for many different reasons, that was my that was my go-to. For a lot of times it was it would help me out of a relationship that I was going through. Hear that song and I'm like, What? Yeah. What does love have? What does love have to do with it? Let me get over this crap.
I get it. I get it.
And then when you're in a relationship and you hear that song and you're like, yeah, you got to, you know, love, you got to put it in. So it's like, no matter what you were feeling, you could listen to that song and get something out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. Because I can't tell you how many times growing up, you know, thinking I was in a relationship with somebody and then they turn around and screw me in the end. I go home and put on that song. Let's go to the Fanatic Feedback Zone. Welcome a couple of new viewers. Mitch Kofsky, who recently subscribed to the YouTube channel. Good morning to you, my friend. My friend Sharif, who is in Texas, says, what's up? He's listening through Facebook, and he adds Tina Turner had a cover song in the movie Mad Max. You know what? I went to see Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That was a date movie for me. With the young lady that I was seeing at the time. My mother didn't know it. My dad knew it, but my mother didn't know it. And I told my mother that I was going to see a movie with a friend of mine. I didn't tell her the young lady that was on my arm, but I went to see that movie with Mel Gibson and Tina Turner in it. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Never forget it. Never forget it. We Need Another Hero is the title of the song. She helped make that movie. Period. Playing a villain. How about that? Playing a villain in that movie.
And I mean, how many times have you heard "We Need a Hero" in the last like 6 months?
Yes.
It's been in almost every movie for about the last 6 months. Every big time movie has played that song.
Every movie has played that song and wore it out. Yeah. And Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome was the first to have it. I believe, Sharif, I need you to look this up for me. I believe it was 1988 when that movie came out. I believe it was 88. My brain's foggy right now because I had a full cup of coffee. And there you go. Deets, you know how I am. You've known me 7 years now. If I don't get a full cup of coffee before you come on, my brain is foggier than ever. All right, and now it's starting to operate. But
the wheels are the hamster's starting to get on the wheel.
The hamster's starting to get on the wheel. Absolutely. 1985. Thank you, Sharif. 1985 when that movie came out.
I think you had it right, Snowman. I think 88 was Thunderdome. 88 was
Yeah, it was the 80s. I know it was the 80s.
Because I know 80. I think 85 was the original.
And it played in the theaters for a while. Because I remember going to see it with my girlfriend at the time in 88. It played in the theaters for a while. That's one of the few movies that didn't have only a 6 to 9 month run. I mean, it had a good long run in the theaters, and people were flocking to see it. You know, because Tina Turner was in it, because Mel Gibson was in it. But Tina Turner made that movie playing a villainess. That you can't make that up.
We've talked about that. We've talked about this forever. What made the villain makes the movie?
Yes,
and she definitely made that movie in a movie that is entitled Mad Max. You walked out of that theater thinking, "Man, Tina Turner was awesome."
Mm-hmm.
Now she stole the show.
Yeah, she did. And again, you said it best, and you say it all the time when we talk comic books on this channel or movies on this channel. The villain makes the movie. The villain makes the comic. She played a villainess in that movie and played it so well. You were actually believing, okay, I want her to win some kind of way, but you kind of knew that. You also kind of knew that wasn't going to happen. But her and her music, the title of that, Beyond Thunderdome, it made the movie. It absolutely made the movie.
Absolutely, it did, and it just goes to show you the kind of it just goes to show you what she was. She never touted that. Never was never the one to say I carried this movie. We need to we need to base the rest of this off me. No, that's not what Tina Turner was like. Yeah, I'm here. I stole the show. Now I'm going back to my world.
I'm going back to what I do best. Yep, I'm going back to what I do best. I mean, she set that movie on fire. As far as I'm concerned, she set that movie on fire, man.
And I mean, you talk about a legend, two-time Rock and Roll Hall of Famer.
Yep.
They're like, how many? I would love to know that number. How many artists are two-time are in twice? Like there's got to be a list, and it's got to be a small list. Because when I heard that this morning, I was like, I've never heard anybody. I've never heard anybody. I've never heard that.
I've never heard that either. I've never heard that either of someone being a two-time Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, the Queen of Rock, as she's known as. That's crazy. Two-time Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's nuts.
So great, and like I said, you cannot. This is something this is something we've been talking about on this show. We've been talking about it on Fifth Down. We've been talking about it on Setting the Scene. We have been talking about this. She is a living character of being the highest of highs, being at the lowest of lows. Mm-hmm. And what makes her intriguing? What makes Tina Turner so intriguing? It's not that she was just the best and all of a sudden, she was at the top of the mountain and stayed there and just that's it. No, it was that she was at the top of the mountain. She was brought down to the bottom of the mountain. She climbed her way up to the top. Once she got there, got knocked all the way back down to the bottom. Mm-hmm. Fought and clawed her way all the way back up. Mm-hmm. That's a great story. That's what makes a great. Tina Turner obviously is a person, but what I'm talking about is a character. If you're thinking about writing characters, what makes you root for that character? Not that they're the best ever. Mm-hmm. It's that they work to get where they are. They start at the bottom. They work all the way up, and when they get up there, something happens that they fall back down. And what makes a great character is that they overcome that and get even higher than they were before. And that is the life of Tina Turner.
A movie you talked about recently. At the top,
she got knocked all the way back down to the bottom. Mm-hmm. And you know what? She soared even higher than she was before.
A movie you talked about that kind of depicts this? Air. Mm-hmm. I mean, Michael Jordan wrote and rewrote his story several times. Because remember, many times he got knocked down on the basketball court by the Detroit Pistons. And he kept climbing up and he kept bringing his teammates with him. That's what Tina Turner did. The few that stayed with her, she brought them up and they all soared. I mean, there's very few times you can write a story like that. But she kept rewriting it.
But that's what makes Tina Turner's story. That's what makes Tina Turner just a lifetime legendary that you're going to remember, that everyone is going to remember. Mm-hmm. When you start at the top and stay at the top and nothing happens, 5 years after you're done, no one's going to remember you. Because they're going to go, oh yeah, they were great for that period of time.
Exactly.
Tina Turner was great for a 5-year stretch. Got knocked all the way back down to the bottom, clawed her way back up, and then reached that legendary status where you were like, no, this woman really is the real deal.
Snowman in the Morning, brought to you in part by the Be Daring Foundation. Think of the legacy you will leave behind with your generous contribution that will help individuals from all across the world. You will be helping us create a unique experience for each individual who joins our elite platform, looking for ways to better manage everyday life. Every dollar donated will go to one of our 4 areas within the Be University. You will also be given a complimentary VIP ticket to our 7th annual Pave the Way Mental Health Summit happening virtually August 7th through 12th, 2023. And you'll have access to all our VIP events with a value of $350. Go to beeu.beedaringfoundation.org for more information. We're Totally Dietz. We're celebrating the life of Tina Turner and stories like hers, where you start at the bottom, claw your way all the way up, you get knocked down, and you're like, screw this, and you climb all the way back up again. You get knocked down again, and you climb all the way back up again. And someone just texted me. One of my good friends from Chicago said that could describe your story, Snowman, because I relate to Tina Turner's story using not only myself as an example, but this show. I've said so many times, I have been wildly inconsistent with this program, wildly inconsistent, to the point where Dietz said to me one day, look, either you bring the show back or I ain't talking to your crazy ass anymore. He actually, that was the only time Dietz and I had a fight. Mm-hmm. Because I was going through hell. It was 2017. I'll never forget it. I was going through hell at the time. And Dietz didn't know I spent 7 days in a mental hospital in Michigan City, Indiana, because Dietz was blowing up my messenger saying, hey, what the hell happened to you? But he didn't know. Well, Dietz, I hope that answered your question. I was away and I was locked in a mental institution because someone had said something about my daughter and I snapped. Well, I verbally snapped. I hope that answers your question.
Well, it answered my question, but when I snapped at you was when you said, I think I'm going to scrap the whole thing. And I said, no, you're not.
Yeah.
I said, no, yeah. No, you're not. You're bringing this back and we're going to do it. Because if you don't do it, I'm going to take over and no one wants that. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget you saying obviously in jest, but
yes,
but the sentiment was there. No, mm-hmm. you love doing this. We love having you, and we're gonna ride it out.
And that was right after I came out. I got released from the hospital, and then later on I went to Tennessee to do some baseball, and I did my show there. But that was the only time Dietz and I had a fight in 7 years. That was the only time, because my brain was in a fog right now, full of medicine. I'm wondering what the hell am I gonna do? And then they said, you're not dropping this. You can't drop this. I'll never forget those words. You can't drop this. When I got back from Tennessee, I reloaded, and here we are, still doing the thing. Let me pause for
just wait till our college football project gets going. Oh, I'm sure there will be some butting head moments there. So
it's you and me in college football. When did we not butt heads when we did that?
It's gonna be a ride. It's gonna be a wild ride.
It's gonna be a ride.
Life should be.
It is. Let me take a pause for a break, and when we come back, we'll continue to celebrate the life of Tina Turner, and Chris Dietz and I will talk about our upcoming college football project. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
I'm in another league. I'm a different breed. I'm everything you can never be. I'm next level. Next level.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BET in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meep of the week, anything goes. live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
If you're the kind of person that likes to drive a lot and your car is a little bit older and out of the normal warranty, keep listening. What's going on underneath the hood of your car? If your car is out of warranty, you're at risk of expensive repair bills. Now, for a couple of dollars a day, you can get an extended protection plan for your car. Hey, you love your car, so why not give it a little extra care? And make sure if something goes wrong, your bank account is safe. Literally, for a couple of dollars a day, you can give yourself peace of mind that you purchased a top-tier vehicle repair coverage plan. Call the Auto Protection Network right now and ask how you could save an additional $500 on your policy.
Call 877-845-0463. Call now.
Do you use Viagra or Cialis? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. Stop overpaying for Viagra. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. Call now.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, W-I-Z-E.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Cause we take this job so serious.
The f*** is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
If you only knew how many times that question's been asked there during the past couple of football seasons. Dietz is back with us. Let's go to the Fanatic Feedback Zone. Let's greet A. Pizzle, whose Florida Panthers are Eastern Conference champions. They're headed to the Stanley Cup final. Make sure we get into that. Sharif joining us from Texas. Of course, Ryan McCoffey joins us. Chris Pomay joining us from north of the border. Eric Wallace joining us this morning. Thank you to all. Here's Ryan McCarthy's usual greeting. This segment of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson is brought to you by South Florida Broom Company. Sweep those storms off the coast with South Florida Broom Company. Proudly made in the USA. I love it. We will get to that. Of course, the Hawk TV joins us this morning, and he loves that opening greeting. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. And we did that when Chris Dietz turned 40. We had to.
Everybody loves that. That was one of the best things. Mike Gundy. Was one of the best press conferences I've ever seen in my life. And just as somebody who aspired to be a coach, it was done so well. The thing about it is, it was not about Mike Gundy making a statement.
Right.
It was about Mike Gundy stepping up for a player on his team and defending an 18-year-old kid.
Yes.
That's what was great. That's what was great about it.
Yeah. Speaking of great things. Dietz and I are going to cover college football live on weekends, Saturdays, by form of me doing a play-by-play call and Dietz being my color commentator. Now, anybody that has followed this show, and there have been many, because I got asked about my show a lot yesterday when I was on location. Dietz and I love college football. We absolutely adore college football. I mean, that's one of the reasons I brought Dietz on as my chief college football analyst. But I'm going to put him to the test with a play-by-play call. And the reason I want to do it, I talked with Dietz about this off the air, and I said, you want to do this? And I kind of stepped on eggshells. Dietz was like, "Oh, the hell with it. Let's do it. Let's go with it." Dietz crushed every eggshell I laid out in front of him. He go, the hell with it. Let's do it. So we're gonna pick a game. It's usually gonna be a noon kickoff game. We're gonna pick a game, and we're going to be a football announcing team, college football announcing team, and just blow everybody else out of the water, except maybe Joel Klatt, because Joel Klatt.
What you're gonna get instead of getting what you normally get on these other networks, where you get guys calling the game who call all these other things and they do all this. You're gonna get people who actually love college football.
Yeah,
who are not, and it's one of the things I learned this year, because unfortunately I had to listen to the national championship game. I had to listen to it on Georgia radio, which
Scott Howard,
which is all it's great. Okay, they do a great presentation, but every single play is, well, we got the ball at the 20-yard line, or our guy just missed the tackle, or, well, the dogs are doing this. Every single call. It made me laugh so much when I was like, are they doing this? I was thinking about it at the time. I was like, are they doing this just to take the piss? Like, are they doing this? Are they doing this on purpose? Every single call was the dogs are at the 30-yard line. The dogs are doing this. Our guys have this. I'm like, can you call the game? Like, what is happening in the game right now? All I know is what's happening on the Georgia sideline right now. I have no idea what's happening on the field.
I can totally explain how Scott Howard got to that point. When you work for 2+ decades with the legendary Larry Munson, who was from Minnesota, and he became the biggest Georgia Bulldog fan, and he just happened to be the play-by-play announcer for the Georgia Bulldogs. He and Scott Howard were teammates in the booth for the longest time. And I've had the pleasure and I've had the fun of listening to Larry Munson call games live for not only Georgia Bulldogs, but a lot of people forget this. For parts of 1990 and parts of 1991, he was the voice of the Atlanta Falcons. He was the radio play-by-play voice of the Atlanta Falcons. He did a couple games at Fulton County Stadium. But besides Paul Allen for the Vikings, Larry Munson was the ultimate, to me, was one of the ultimate homers in radio college sports, and radio sports, period. Larry Munson was that guy who knew everything about the Bulldogs and nothing about any other team, though it seems like he had a crash course. I'll give you an example. 1996, Georgia and Auburn, at Auburn. And I saw a video with Larry Munson calling the game, Scott Howard with him, and Munson said Mike Bobo brought us flying down the field. It's like the ultimate. But I absolutely adored Larry Munson, the longtime, God rest his soul, longtime voice of the Bulldogs. And when Scott Howard took over as the voice of the Bulldog, he took a lot of Larry Munson with him. You know what I mean? He took a lot of Larry Munson with him.
No,
I understand where you're coming from.
Don't misunderstand me. It is great. It is fantastic to listen to. Like it is fantastic to listen to. But for every time for an entire and I did this. I listened to the semifinal game.
Yes.
On the Georgia side as well. Because the ESPN Plus thing, it only allowed me to listen. It was either listen to the Ohio State call or the Georgia call while I'm watching it on TV. So I 2 straight games.
So you had
every single play, every single time. And at about the halfway point of the first game, I was like, they can't be. I was like, they can't keep this up, and they did it the entire rest of the next game, and I was like, wow. I was like, oh my god. So that was kind of like my whoa, what's going on here? But to get back to our presentation and how it's going to be different than most of these. Those are people that love they love college football. They love Georgia football. They love Georgia football. But you get people in here. You get people on these national networks that call games that they don't give a damn about college foot. They don't give a damn about college football. They don't care that they're calling. They don't. One of the games. I'll tell you this right now. We're going to schedule it out. It might not be a noon game, but I'm telling you right now, we're doing the Cyhawk Trophy. We're doing the Cyhawk Trophy game. I will find a way to watch it. I don't care what I have to do.
Cyclones and Hawkeyes.
Cyclones and Hawkeyes. Okay. And we're gonna call the hell out of an Iowa game that when they send and again, I love the guy. I love Bob Wischusen.
Yes.
But Bob Wischusen, he doesn't. You can tell when he's calling that game, he doesn't give a damn about Iowa or Iowa State. He's there to call the game and be a professional and do what he does.
And he's ready to get back home to call his beloved Jets.
He's ready. He's getting ready to go Sunday. For Sunday for the big show. But when you turn into us, you are going to get everything, the passion of college football into this, and that's what we want. That's what we want to bring. We want because we don't want to just sit there, call the game, and all right, see you later. No, we're going to bring you the passion that college football deserves.
As mentioned, Eric Wallace joining us. Sam Shady joining us from Cancun, Mexico. He's on vacation. The Playmaker joining us from Florida. He's excited for the Panthers. Of course, Brother Wise is with us saying good morning. Victor Locke is with us. Ryan McCarthy says Bob Wischusen is my guy. Of course, Bob Wischusen, the longtime fabulous play-by-play voice of the New York Jets. Bob Papa, longtime voice of the Giants. And for your... I'm trying to remember the voice for your Cowboys, Dietz. It's who's
I couldn't tell you because I live in Connecticut, so I don't get the Cowboys broadcast. I don't get the Cowboys broadcast anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying. I better look it up because I thought I knew. No, Jimmy Cephalo is the voice of the Dolphins. I know that. Vern Lundquist.
Seeing that it came from A Pizzle, of course that's the Dolphins. Of course that's the Dolphins.
Of course he'd know.
Of course it's the Dolphins announcer. There you go.
Jeff Joniak, voice of the Bears. Greg Papa, the voice of my beloved 49ers. Matt Taylor, who will join us at 9:15, is the fabulous voice of the Indianapolis Colts. Brad Sham, thank you. That's the name I was looking for. Brad Sham and Babe Loffenberg, the voices of the Cowboys. But see, I've listened to most of the NFL broadcasts, and they're the same way. The most entertaining one of the most entertaining voices that I love catching is Paul Allen, voice of the Vikings, because Paul Allen in a lot of ways is like Scott Howard for the Bulldogs for Georgia. Paul Allen is like
well, the best Brad Sham call and Babe Loffenberg, the best call they ever had is probably the worst. Is probably one of the worst plays in Cowboys history.
And
you watched it. I watched this on YouTube probably about 900 times. Then of Leon Lett on Thanksgiving. It is one of the funniest. It's one of the funniest calls you will ever hear. And then to give a Pizzle you listen to the Dolphins side of it. That the call of that play is absolutely hilarious on both sides, and it's just
I have to find it.
Passion. You can tell the passion behind those guys.
That's
what we're bringing to college football.
Oh Lord! Now I have to find it. Now I have to. Before we bring on Matt Taylor at 9:50, now I have to find that call. I'll do one of Victor's favorites. Let's go back to 2001. Dick Enberg was on the call for CBS for this craziness.
Skills. He's going to be going to Honolulu every year for a long time.
First down, Jacksonville. They trail 13-0. The screen is intercepted. Big Keith Trailer. Look at him rumble. 40, 50. Watch out. The earth is shaking. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He won't give it up. Oh, my.
Perfect call by Dick Enberg.
You gotta love that. You gotta love Dick Enberg.
Because I watched that play while I was doing some hockey, and everybody jumped out of their seats when they saw that. When they saw Keith Trailer.
The earth is shaking.
The earth is shaking. Absolutely. Speaking of Dick Enberg, let's go back to 1993, and I know you, my friend, remember this.
Day game. Will it go in the win column to Dallas or Miami? Stoyanovich will decide it as he will try this field goal, which will be 40 yards. 40 yards. Doug Peterson to hold. Blocked. The Cowboys will win.
Wait a minute.
Will was in the end zone. No one covered it, and Miami did. That could be a touchdown if Miami has covered it.
A Dallas player touched the ball, and then the Dolphins went on and recovered it.
It's on the 1 yard line. It's not in the end zone. It's in the 1 yard line.
They're going to sort it out.
And there's 3 seconds left on the clock.
92, Tolbert gets his hand up in the air and knocks the ball. No, it's not 92, it's 97.
Jimmy Jones.
Now someone touches the football here. Watch what happens. It's Leon Lett. No!
Oh, Lett, who is haunted by his super...
Bob Trumpy.
Oh, God.
Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy were on that call Thanksgiving Day 1993. And I love Bob Trumpy's reaction. It's Leon Lett. No!
No. I think if I remember correctly, if you listen to the Dallas side, when he does that, all you hear is, "What in the hell is he thinking?" When he said that, I almost fell out of my chair watching it. Oh my God. The only thing I can say,
what did you think when you saw that? You saw the block field goal, thinking game over, and then Bob Trumpy's going crazy because if you look at that broadcast, they didn't immediately cut to the scramble for the ball. They didn't cut to it until they were in the end zone.
No, they were too busy. They were too busy showing the flowing locks on Jerry.
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to say. That's the most amazing part of that clip is look how much hair Jerry Jones has. Jesus. But no, I remember that play. It was Thanksgiving Day. We
Yep.
were at my cousin's house in Long Island watching that play, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, we watched the block field goal, and we're like, all right, good. And then all of a sudden, people are just spitting up their turkey like, what in the world just happened? And we're like, what? Like, we watched the play, turned around, started eating, and then we're like, it's not over yet. Wait, what? Oh, I remember it was a mess.
I was at my parents' place, and I saw the block field goal, and I went in another room. I'm like, man, this is over. And then I hear my dad shout, "What the hell are you thinking?" I ran downstairs and peeked at the screen, and that's when they showed Leon Lett.
That was my thought. My thought when I saw that was Leon Lett just did something stupid. I didn't even know it was him. I didn't even know it was him at the time. Right. All of a sudden, they're like, wait, one of the Cowboys touchdown. I went, Leon Lett did something stupid. Leon Lett had to be involved. And then you see him slide into it, and I'm like, oh my God. I was like, how? I was like, oh God. The only saving, but that's the only saving grace for Cowboys fans in that play.
Yes,
is that it was Leon Lett. Because if it was somebody else on the Cowboys that did that, then you could go back and you say, well, the whole team is just stupid. No, that was just Leon Lett being Leon Lett. That was just Leon Lett being involved in another stupid play
And he was a part of one of the best defenses in league history that won 3 Super Bowls. And yet he has 2 colossal blunders, one of them that occurred in the Super Bowl, and then this one on Thanksgiving. I think he's remembered more for the blunder on Thanksgiving 1993 than he was.
That was a true blunder.
Yes.
Now, the Super Bowl play, it's always this way, Snowman. The glass is either half full or half empty.
Right.
It's either a blunder from Leon Lett or a great play by Don Beebe.
Yeah.
And I choose to look at it as a great play, but from Don Beebe.
Yeah, I look at that.
It is
that way too.
And Don Beebe, if you've watched the 30 for 30 about the Buffalo Bills,
yes,
Don Beebe gets letters to this day about people that watch that play and are inspired by what he did. So that's why I always say it was a great play by Don Beebe more than it was a blunder. I mean, obviously, if Leon Lett just doesn't do what Leon Lett does, none of that happens. But if Don Beebe isn't busting his ass down the line and getting back into that play, like most people are nowadays, where it's just, he's gone, let him go.
Yep.
No, if Don Beebe is not giving up, that is what makes that play. So that's
true.
That's why people probably, when they say biggest blunder, obviously it's the Thanksgiving game, because what in the world? Why? Why are you anywhere near the ball? What is?
Why is he Why is he anywhere near the ball? Victor channels Wise and says Leon Lett, the first ever effing moron of the year. And if anybody watches Mentality, you know the reference and where that came from. Let's do one for the Patriots. Bob Sochi, the fabulous voice of the Patriots, went through this.
When the Finns ran the hook and lateral to beat the Patriots several years ago. Now on a 3rd and 10, 3 seconds left. Jones will give it to Stevenson. He started right. He runs it up the middle, hit by Chandler. Jones slips and hit across the 45 with a stiff arm. Off a tackle at the 40. He lost the football. And Jacoby Myers picks it up. He circles back and he throws it across the field toward Jones. It's picked up by Chandler Jones. He breaks away to the 30. He runs to the 20. He runs to the 10. He runs to the end zone.
Good night. This might be one of the dumbest teams I've ever seen.
Man, we had to go way back in the vault for that one, huh?
For Las Vegas.
Oh my God. and now the best part about that play is Jacoby Myers is now a Raider.
Yes. Yes. The most ironic thing and the best thing, Jacoby Myers now with the Raiders.
I forget who the commentator was. That's like that's
played by man Bob Sochi for the Patriots.
Somebody will know this in the chat. I'm sure Ryan McCarthy knows this well. All right. So in Yankees Red Sox lore, there is one guy who played for, well, there are many guys who have played for both teams, but there's one guy who has pitched for both teams and yet pitched for the same team every time. And that was Ramiro Mendoza.
Yes.
And I think it was, I'm not sure about this. I think it was Orsillo and Remy on Nesson on Nesson. Whenever he would come in and they blow the game, and he'd go, Ramiro Mendoza secretly pitching for the Yankees. I just always remember Ramiro Mendoza pitched in a Red Sox uniform, and every time he faced the Yankees, just got smoked.
Yes. Oh, he got absolutely killed every time. Every time.
So one of those Red Sox announcers just said Ramiro Mendoza secretly pitching for the Yankees.
Yes. I mentioned Paul Allen. This is one of my favorites from Paul Allen for the Vikings. Let's go back to January 2016.
From 27 yards left hash. Snap good, spot down. Walsh's kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that. He missed it left. And the Seattle Seahawks are off to Charlotte. Blair Walsh missed a 27-yard field.
I gotta hear it again.
From 27 yards left hash. Snap good, spot down. Walsh's kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that. He missed it left.
That was bad. That was bad. But I mean, there's got to be a call. There's got to be a call. The worst kick. I mean, you can talk about which kick is worse. Dan Bailey's was even worse.
Was that against Baltimore?
No, it was like the very next year in the same in the same round of the playoffs. I think Dan Bailey hit the post, and it just awesome. And you know it was the very next year because they got rid of Matt Walsh and they brought in Dan Bailey, who would Dan Bailey when he's kicking for the Cowboys was like the most accurate kicker. They bring him in, they get to the same spot, and they're like, "All right, we're good. We got the most accurate kicker." Boink. Nope. Result. Oh God. I forget who the opponent was, but I know it was the next year in the playoffs. Banked it right off the post. I went, oh my God. Not again.
Sports and announcing memories as we're Totally Dietz this morning. Let me give you this one. I just played one of my favorite calls from Paul Allen. I was perusing YouTube, and courtesy of KFAN in Minneapolis, I found this gem. This is his reaction live in the booth when Blair Walsh missed the field goal.
The postseason.
That is Paul Allen, the fabulous voice of the Minnesota Vikings.
Snaps. In his first year with the Minnesota Vikings, Jeff Locke Holmes, Blair Walsh from 27 yards left hash. Snap good, spot down. Walsh's kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that. He missed it left.
I love you, Paul Allen. That was when I saw that, because I remember where I was. I was in Chesterton, Indiana, at a Starbucks. Surprise, surprise. I have my headphones on, and I'm listening to that game on KFAN, and then I heard that call because they got a long completion to Kyle Rudolph, coupled it with a 15-yard penalty, with a 19-yard pass interference penalty to get to that point. And I'm thinking, okay, the Vikings are going to walk off. And then that happens. And I'm writing something down that I'm getting ready to put on my website. And I said, okay, I got this. And then I hear Paul Allen go, no good, he missed it. Are you kidding me? And I'm sitting there in shock. What? He what?
That is a level of professionalism that I would never have. I would never have that in the booth. If that's a Cowboys game,
you'd lose it.
That booth is not surviving. That booth is not surviving. That headset would not be there. All of that would be the table right in front of me would be where
you would untether yourself.
Oh, I would have to. I wouldn't even be able to call that because I would have to like cut the mic and be like, all right, we have to make sure he makes this because otherwise you're gonna hear, I'd be like, get the tape delay ready because this is gonna happen. Like, and everybody says this whenever I'm watching games because I root for my Cowboys, but yes. I watch the games to watch the games. Yes. I want to see the games played right.
Yes.
And when things happen on the big screen at the bar, I'm always the first person who's like, what in the bleep just happened? That's ridiculous.
Yes.
And every time, all I get is, they can't hear you, right? And I'm like, I don't care if they can't hear me. I was like, I have to say this so that it's out in the open so anybody else can pick it up because what is going on the screen right now?
Oh, my heavens. All right. This is one of my favorites. Now, let me set the scene for you. I was living in Minneapolis at the time of this call. We're going back to 2000. I was living in Minneapolis at the time of this call. I had a long day at work. I had Monday Night Football in front of me, and just as I was about to fall asleep, this happens.
Lays it up for Freeman, and it's incomplete. Or did he make the catch at the 15? Yes. What are they going to rule it? He caught it? Touchdown. He did what?
Ref was right on it, I think.
He did what?
You heard that great analysis at the end there from the one and only Dennis Miller. And look, all right, I'm gonna say this right now. Everybody gets mad. Everybody got mad that they put Dennis Miller in the booth. I thought Dennis Miller was hilarious.
I loved it.
I loved him. I loved him in the booth.
I loved hearing Dennis Miller in the booth.
He was a fan. Why they asked him to analyze the game and to be in that role, I have no idea. Because he wasn't going to break down the game. He was a fan of the game. And as a fan of football, you got to hear a fan's perspective. I loved that from him. And obviously Dennis Miller, went. He has his own quirks where he, uses words that you would never, that no one's used in about 300 years. But that was Dennis Miller's shtick at the time. So I never had a problem. I never had a problem with Dennis Miller in the booth. I thought it was a good trial. I thought if they had an actual football guy with him, it would have been great. Because you would have had the fan perspective, you would have had the player perspective, and then you would have had the great Al Michaels setting the tone.
But Dennis Miller in the booth was hilarious to me.
Oh, he was great.
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. All right, let's get into hour two. Matt Taylor will join us quarter past the hour. Dietz and I sharing broadcast memories of Tina Turner. What are your favorite broadcast moments? I'll try to find them and play them. And let's get into hour two. Hour two starts right now. Time for hour two of this spectacular. Ryan McCoffey now joins us this morning.
That's what you need to do to beat Josh Allen. You need to make him uncomfortable.
Hour two, time for some Spivey notes. And here's Jay.
Well, I know he's only in his third year, but they're just wasting Justin Herbert.
Hour two,
the hardest working content creator I know, the playmaker.
Hey, LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Hey.
Hour two,
the one, the only Christopher Dietz.
They rewarded Ohio State for not playing, and they punished USC for playing.
Hour two, Sam Shady.
Oh, man. It's been a roller coaster ride if you were a Philadelphia Stars fan.
Hour two, that's Big Ben, the man in charge of the BS3 network.
And if I see Kurt 2 Chainz Cousins out.
Hour two, Chris Bay's joining us.
Oh my God! Oh, this game! Oh, way to go, Sammy!
Hour two, was L.
Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Time for hour two of this spectacular, and it starts right now. Man, live. We're cruising right along here, along with Chris Dietz. Hour two of this spectacular is brought to you by Invader Coffee. We aim to only serve the highest quality organic air roasted coffee beans sourced from free trade farms all over the world. We keep things simple, the best coffee at an affordable price in order to provide you the value you deserve from your morning boost. 100% fair trade farms, hold the ground. 100% air roasted coffee, 100% money back guarantee. Go to snowmanmultimediasports.com, click on the Invader Coffee logo. You'll be supporting Invader Coffee, a veteran-owned coffee company, and you'll be supporting this show as well. My partner is Chris Dietz this morning, and we're taking a trip down broadcast memory lane. And
speaking of coffee, I'm gonna one up Ryan McCarthy here.
Okay,
Gary Thorne. How about Gary Thorne's call of the wraparound? Matto.
That was Howie Rose.
That was Howie Rose. But Gary Thorne, I watched Gary Thorne's call because I watched it on ESPN. His call of that is awesome.
Yeah, I love both calls, but I love Howie Rose's call.
Howie Rose is great, and of course you hear him in my intro.
Yep.
That has to be my favorite call of all time.
I thought you'd use Howie Rose's call of Stephon Matteau. I thought he would Cole would put that one in. That was what I was, because I know you're a Mets fan. I know you love Howie Rose, as do I. Oh, you know what? Let's have a couple of Mets. Let's have a couple of Mets moments right here. We're going to go back to 2000. We're going to go back to 2016, and a lot of people won't agree with what I'm about to say, but you know, this is one of the best moments I've ever seen in baseball.
Looking for his first hit of the year. He drives one deep left field. Back goes Upton. Back near the wall. It's out of here. Bartolo has done it.
Bartolo.
The impossible has happened. The team vacates the dugout as Bartolo takes the long trot. His first career home run.
That's Gary Cohen. That's Gary Cohen.
Yeah, that's Gary Cohen. I got another present for you.
History of baseball. Bartolo Colon has gone deep.
I want to say that was one of the longest home run trots I've ever seen, but I think that's how fast he runs.
And now they'll flood up the tunnel and give him his just due. His 226th career at bat. I knew if he ever made contact in just the right way, he was strong enough to do it. And now Bartolo has brought down the
Here's
house.
Howie.
Lewicki at second, 2 out, 2-0 New York in the second. The 1-1 swing and a drive to deep left field. It's got a chance. Upton going back. It's going to go. Home run. Bartolo Colon. repeating, home run, Bartolo Colon. 7-line Army in right field might tear this ballpark down. Colon carried his bat with him until he was about 10 feet from first base. He's taking the slowest home run trot you've ever seen. He is approaching home plate. He touches home plate with his first major league home run, and they are going to give him a silent treatment in the dugout. They have vacated. The Mets have left the building. Bartolo Colon is the loneliest man in San Diego as he reaches the Mets dugout, and there's nobody there to greet him.
I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it again. I gotta hear Howie Rose again.
I just love it. I love his home run call. It's got a chance.
Yes.
Lucky at second, 2 out, 2-0 New York in the second. The 1-1 swing and a drive to deep left field. It's got a chance. Upton going back. It's gonna go. Home run, Bartolo Colon. Repeating, home run, Bartolo Colon.
That right there. Repeating, home run, Bartolo Colon. All the clips that we are using, fair use, courtesy of the NFL, courtesy of Major League Baseball. That one, courtesy of WOR, the radio home of the Mets.
That's what makes the Howie Rose call of the Piazza home run that I have.
It's got a chance.
His call, that has a chance. When you watch the play and listen to Howie Rose call it, you have no idea what the hell he's talking about. Because every single person in the ballpark,
right,
the minute it hits the bat, every single person in the ballpark, every single person at home, every single person watching, being that it was the first game back from 9/11.
Yes.
Every single person knew when that ball hit when the ball hit the bat that it was gone.
That it was gone.
When he said there's a chance, I was like, there's a chance of what? Of what? There's a chance that ball ever lands? Because it was.
I think that's why
part of that play.
I think that's why Cole put that in the intro for you.
It is deathly silent. When you watch that play, it is as quiet a ballpark as you can hear.
Mm-hmm.
The minute the ball hits that bat, the entire ballpark explodes.
Yes.
And everybody, and then they pan to everybody, and everybody is just hugging. And we're going to talk about this a lot more when football season starts, being that it's the memory of it. But that moment gave New York something to cheer. New York finally had something to cheer about, and they did not waste. They did not waste it. It was you could see like the camera shake. You knew it was just exploded, and then you get Howie Rose. This one's got a chance. Like, what are you talking about? That ball is gone by about 300 feet.
By about 300 feet. Speaking of having a chance, I was at work in North Carolina when this happened, but I was listening to WJFK out of Washington, D.C., and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. But thank you, Dave Jagler, for this one.
Kelly's one-strike pitch. Swinging a fly ball, center field deep. Bellinger going back to the warning track, to the wall. It's a grand slam. Howie Kendrick has done it. They're going crazy in the Nationals dugout. Howie Kendrick with a grand slam here in the 10th inning of Game 5. The Nationals 7, the Dodgers 3. Do you believe it?
I went crazy. I was working security at a hospital, and I went nuts.
The best part of that game and that series is I was doing Trinity Gauntlet at the time.
Yes.
Me and Victor were on when they brought Clayton Kershaw in with the I think it was with the bases loaded, and they brought Clayton Kershaw in, and Victor goes, "Well, this game's over." Before he even got to the mound, he goes, "Well, this one's over." Nationals won. Boom.
Yep. Oh, Lord.
I was like, yo, we just called this right out of the gate. We went right when they brought Kershaw in, he goes, "Game's over."
Game's over.
We don't even have to watch extra.
Don't have to see anything. Speaking of games, let me welcome a brother who I love listening to, as do my wife. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the fabulous voice of the Indianapolis Colts, Mr. Matt Taylor, and he joins me right now. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Getting ready for a weekend here, watching some Colts football today, OTAs, practice today.
How
Excited about it.
How exciting is it to I know we're in the month of May, but OTAs are going on right now, and soon you have training camp. The football vibe is there. How exciting is that for you?
Well, you're going to have the closest thing to real football this time of year. I mean, I know it's not full pads and full takedown and stuff like that. You're not keeping score, but you take what you can get in the calendar. I mean, the off season is so long between games, but you're going to have guys in helmets today and I call them pro pads, like shoulder pads and protective leg gear. And you're going to have 11 on 11 drills. It's not going to be full go, but you're going to have an offense out there, a defense out there. You're going to have Anthony Richardson throwing to receivers, reading a defense, going through his checks, making audibles at the line of scrimmage, going through his reads and his progressions. So, it's kind of a little bit of a baseline to see where he is and how much he's been able to process in about 3-4 weeks since he was drafted. So it's exciting. I mean, you're going to be doing this for the next 3 weeks and then mini camp in mid-June. And then you'll let him back into the wild for, 4 or 5 weeks before training camp starts again. So it's incredibly exciting. Plus it's beautiful weather around here, these parts. I feel like summer's creeping in. You got the month of May, you got the Indianapolis 500 on Sunday. Like it's a beautiful time to be from Indianapolis and be in Indianapolis, having fun and just kind of soaking up the beautiful time of year that we all love around here.
Hey, Matt, can I ask the question that every fan wants to know about right now, that every fan needs to know about? How's Jonathan Taylor looking?
Well, right now he's not doing much in terms of on-field activity. He is still rehabbing kind of off to the side. And that's not breaking news considering he missed those 6 games last year, had that ankle injury, and then had a little bit of a procedure in the off season back in the wintertime to clean things up. So I think certainly, obviously, with a player like him, and we saw this last year, you want to be really protective of what he means to this team and the offense because of how special he is and all the things that he can do. So, he was certainly a guy they held out in the preseason last year because Jonathan Taylor doesn't need preseason reps to prove that he's a top back in this league. You want to get him healthy, and you want to get him through, so that week 1 rolls around, he's your top back that can manage, 20, 25 carries per game if you need him to. So they're obviously going to be very smart and intelligent with, what he's doing this time of year and how involved he is. But he's here. He's here every day. He's at practice every day. He's certainly doing things off to the side to get himself 100% ready to go. And I think, I'm probably going out on a limb here saying this, but I think if the Colts played today, hypothetically, right, if they had a regular season game today, I think he'd play. I think he'd be able to play. But the good news is they still have 4 or 5 months to kind of figure that out, get him 100% right and healthy so that he can put that 2022 injury-riddled season with that bad ankle behind him, and he can be ready to go.
Evan Hull was drafted by the Indianapolis Colts out of Northwestern. How dangerous can he be in that Shane Steichen offense along with Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, I think you're going to see Taylor and Zach Moss be those first and second down backs. And then on third down, 2-minute drill, end of a half, end of a game, obvious passing situations. I think that's where Hull might have a little bit of a niche or in kind of a heightened, kind of like be that quasi starter, if you will, within that role, whenever those situations come up. Because like you said, he is a great pass catching back. And Northwestern, they obviously struggled, but Hull was a big part of their offense. He was kind of their bright spot. He caught 55 balls last year. He's over 2,000 career rushing yards, so he can hammer the football.
but he's got a ton of athleticism, right? That's sort of the hallmark of the Colts draft the last couple of years, is just freak athletes, and then we'll kind of peg you into positions later. But you need to be able to play. You need to be able to translate to the NFL. And I think that's where Hull kind of fits in. He can definitely play in this league with his, athleticism and his dynamic traits. But yeah, I kind of see him being that more of that Nyheim Hines role. Now, I think a lot of people hear that and they say, well, we heard that before, right? We heard last offseason that Nyheim Hines was going to be a big, fantasy football contributor and a guy that would touch the ball
Right.
9-10 times a game. And that just never came to fruition. So, it's kind of left unknown or to be determined, what Hull can do within that role within this offense under Shane Steichen, and with a quarterback like Anthony Richardson getting the ball out quickly and being able to make things happen with his athleticism. But it's exciting to see what a player can do and show his versatility in Hull, because he was one of the best pass catching backs in college football last year.
Yeah.
So that's one of those kind of sneaky underlying storylines of the rest of this spring, is to see him out there, to see how many reps he's getting, and to see, quite frankly, how the Colts are initially, kind of drawing up plays or drawing up ways to get him involved in the offense.
Well, the biggest thing for him and any rookie at that position to be a third down back, you said the right thing. He has to catch the football, but he has to do one thing before he can do that, and that's block. That's pick up the blitz.
No doubt, right? And so, I mean, I think that's everybody. I think that's across the board there with Taylor, with Moss, whether that's Deion Jackson if he comes back and makes this team. So yeah, everybody's going to have a role. I think, situational football, that running back position. But it's one of those things. It's going to be really difficult to take Jonathan Taylor off the field. I mean, it just always is, no matter the situation, because he's that good and that dynamic with the football in his hands. He's a guy that can always take, an inside zone. He can take it 65 yards with the vision he has, and certainly the speed and the cutting and the agility that he possesses. So Taylor's going to obviously have to improve in that regard. Everybody is, I think, within that running back room. Moss, Hull, again, Jackson, depending on how many running backs they decide to keep. But yeah, for sure, you have to be able to protect as long as possible for a guy like Anthony Richardson, who has shown, and with his his stereotypical abilities, those agile quarterbacks, man, just protect a little bit longer. Just give him a hair longer, a fraction longer in the pocket. He can make something happen, because the play is never truly dead with a guy with his speed and with his traits. So that's what the Colts are trying to get accomplished and drilled into everybody's head in the offseason. Just protect a little bit longer, because no longer do you have, a Phillip Rivers back there, or a Matt Ryan back there. This guy can make things happen off schedule, off platform.
And the question,
speaking of protecting what do you see differently in the offensive line from this year to last year with the head coaching, with the either coaching scheme or whether it's players?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest thing right now is you've got a different offensive coordinator, you've got a different scheme, and you've got a different position group. So for those guys, I mean, the players up front, they are truly, kind of the only holdovers from 2022 to 2023. So you feel good about the progress that Bernard Ryman made towards the end of last year. I don't think you get out the Sharpie and write his name in at left tackle.
Right.
I think he's going to have to continue to earn that, and there will continue to be, a push, like a guy like Blake Freeland, who the Colts picked up in the 5th round.
Right.
He's got a lot of position flexibility at both tackle spots at college. So perhaps he's able to kind of push, Bernard Ryman, or maybe they're not done yet in free agency at that position. Time will tell. But it's left tackle. It's what do they do at right guard, because that was kind of a revolving door at that position last year. Started out with Danny Penner. There was a game or two where they moved Braden Smith into guard. Then it was Will Fries towards the end of last year. So I think Tony Sperano has come in, and, the way that the guys talk about him, he's kept things simple. He's keeping things fresh. It's all about communication up front. Not that they didn't have it last year, but they're really emphasizing, we have got to clean things up in terms of communication, the line of scrimmage, because as you guys know, I mean, you guys saw it last year, like stunts and twists and line games at the line of scrimmage just really threw the Colts offensive line for a loop last year. Now, obviously, they didn't have the most mobile quarterbacks, behind them in 2022, but I think that's where Anthony Richardson in this offense and the running game of Jonathan Taylor, plus the threat of Anthony Richardson in the running game, that will help the offensive line, I think, immensely, because just based on the skill set and the threats of the skill set in the offensive backfield, I don't think teams are going to be able to be as aggressive against this Colts offensive line as they were last year. I mean, it got to be a point last year where teams knew, hey, we're just going to run the same stuff that the Colts offensive line has been struggling with all season. Again, line games, stunts, and twists, and just loading up gaps, because they knew it was like blood in the water. They knew the Colts couldn't stop it. When you're that aggressive at the line of scrimmage and your quarterback is back there that can't get rid of the ball quick enough and he can't break the pocket, that's just sort of a recipe for a disaster. And that's exactly what happened last year, to the tune of 60 sacks allowed, which was the second most in franchise history. So I think with a different offense and certainly a different quarterback that can do a lot of things, that should, in theory, take a lot of pressure off the offensive line, and all that they saw last year from the defense that just knew, hey, let's just get after these guys because we've seen it on tape and they have a hard time, picking it up. And so I think that's where Tony Sparano has come in and simplified some things and has built clear lines of communication for those guys who are trying to all bounce back. I mean, all of these guys are high dollar players. You got some of your best players that are your most expensive players with Nelson and Braden Smith and Ryan Kelly. And those guys, quite frankly, have to play better in order for this team to take the next step next year. And so it goes back to Chris Ballard talking at the end of last season. Our best players got to play better. They have to play like our best players. And I think in that regard, those guys have a chip on their shoulder considering what happened to them last year.
The receiving core also took some major hits last year. Where is the improvement with that so far, heading into OTAs and then later on heading into training camp?
Well, I mean, you got Josh Downs in here now, and I think he kind of represents a skill set on offense the Colts didn't have. He is a very untraditional wide receiver in terms of measurements. This is a guy that, the Chris Ballard typically hasn't drafted. He's only 5'10", maybe 180, soaking wet. But he's really shifty, really fast, runs really good routes in the slot, and just sort of represents, sort of a different skill set on offense the Colts haven't had, that true young, shifty slot receiver. And maybe the Colts can tap into that next year. So I think coming back, you feel really good about the talent that the Colts have on the outside with Michael Pittman Jr. I think Alec Pierce represents the biggest deep ball threat that the Colts have on offense. And we know Anthony Richardson can throw the deep ball. It's just about being more accurate and having more time to do that. So I like where the Colts wide receivers are at. I mean, they've drafted very high at that position 3 of the last 4 years, going back to Michael Pittman Jr. coming in 2020. So it's time for that group to come to fruition. They really haven't put up good numbers the last couple of years, but I think a lot of that is based on the carousel at the quarterback position and the instability there. So I think once they get that, I think you'll see Michael Pittman Jr. really start to shine. Same thing with Pierce. Ashton Doolin's going to make this team for his special teams prowess. The Colts brought him back in free agency really quickly in March. So he's going to make this team. So that's 4 or 5 guys right there, and you can only keep 6 tops.
Yeah.
So then it's a battle for guys like, Mike Strawn or, Ethan Fernia, some of these guys that have been here a while trying to make this team. And Strawn obviously represents a bigger bodied type receiver, but has been inactive a bunch the last couple of years. The Colts are kind of waiting for him to get his opportunity and to make something happen. So that camp battle is going to be intense. But as of right now, barring injury, you kind of already know who those first 4 or 5 guys are based on the talent, what they represent to the team on special teams. And, Josh Downs being drafted in the 3rd round, he's obviously going to be here. He's going to make this team. So wide receiver it's a tough nut to crack right now because you have drafted very high there at that position the last couple of years.
Matt Taylor joining us, the fabulous voice of the Indianapolis Colts. He'll be joining us throughout the course of the season, taking you to and through the 2023 season. I love you, brother. Thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Hey, anytime, man. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Matt.
Matt Taylor, the voice of the Indianapolis Colts, joining us. He's going to join us as often as possible. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Dietz and I will bring you the rest of the way. Hope you've enjoyed it as we enjoy bringing it to you. This is Snowman in the Morning. We're back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
That's why we here on this platform.
Marriage, a loving splendor, a daily grind. Such is the case when Damien and Jamie get together and chop it up, for marriage is real.
Let's just lay it all out here. Let's just be real with it.
Join this wonderful couple who keeps it real and always in love. BS3 Network proudly presents Marriage is Real, where love is the only thing that matters. Live every Tuesday at 8:30 Central. Oh, and Jamie has something to say.
Deuces and trays.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
The original Think drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
Everything Boston. New Kids on the Block, New Edition, and I love New Edition. Can't stand the rain. New Edition. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Big Papi David Ortiz, definitely Pedro Martinez. The Bruins, them, the Celtics, Patriots somewhat, but Giants handled them. So, but still a big them. The Boston PD for that at the Boston Marathon. But I'm sorry, New Edition, I do love you guys. But yeah. Except for Johnny Gill. Yeah, Johnny Gill is from DC, so not you, Johnny Gill, not you. The other 5 kids that from. I'm sorry, they're not kids. They can't help where they come from. But them for being from Boston.
Who does Wise go off on next? You'll have to tune in to Mentality every Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern on Comey Media Inc., 8 p.m. Eastern on Real Wise TV, 10 p.m. Eastern on Snowman Multimedia. Catch the television replay today, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on BS3 TV on your Roku device. And we thank you for supporting Mentality, the ultimate masculine safe space. Dietz here, Snowman here. Y'all, the look on Dietz's face when Wise was just going completely off of us.
You just gotta respect. You just gotta respect.
You gotta love
respect the hatred.
You gotta love that. You gotta love that.
But I'm wondering if Playmaker is still in the chat, because he might be the only other one that picked up on the breaking news that Matt Taylor breaking news on this program. Anthony Richardson threw a pass. I'm pretty sure Florida Gator fans are like, wait, what? He did what? What? Why didn't he do that for us?
You stupid.
Well, when he said, oh, Anthony Richardson is throwing the ball, and I was like, I wanted to say it to Matt, but I wanted to be respectful. Wait a minute. But I was like, wait, he did what? I was like, huh? Wait, what? How? What? Why?
If you weren't one of my best friends telling the truth on this show, I'd sock you right in the mouth. But you're true, though. You're absolutely true. And when I got to do this, when I asked my wife how she felt about the Colts drafting Anthony Richardson instead of dipping in the free agency market for a quarterback, she responded with this: "You fool!" Speaking of hatred, this happened.
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
I saw you get the Celtics blanket before we came on the air today. Will they ever use that logo at center court, like for an alternate appearance, or will they just keep the same logo they've always used?
No, it's always gonna be the leprechaun.
Yeah,
I would be shocked. I'd be shocked if they ever changed that. It would pain me as a Celtics fan. It always should be the leprechaun there.
True. Okay. I was just wondering, because a lot of teams are using alternate courts now, but I don't think the Celtics ever will. The only thing they did was they made the leprechaun logo bigger and they took the white border off.
Then I remember one year it was like half the court.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, wait, what is going on here?
And that was like right after they moved into the TD Garden.
Mm-hmm.
After they moved out of the Boston Garden, because the Boston Garden's leprechaun logo, it was at center court, but it was as big as the one they have in the garden now. But they had the white border around it, and it was all green. There was no extra colors to it, to the leprechaun or anything. It was
when
just
they first had it there. It went from one 3-point line to the other 3-point line.
Yes,
it was like massive, and it took away from the watching experience. You were like, wait, what is going on here?
Right. When the NBA was on CBS and they would often show games at the Boston Garden, didn't it seem to you that the Celtics had like secret advantages? Like there were, what did some players say? They were like dead spots.
Oh, there were dead spots in the court. That has been documented. That there were dead, and you could tell because of the way the court, just Boston Garden always looked there like it looked like a checkerboard. It looked like a checkerboard
with the parquet floor, right?
Yeah. But that was the lore of Boston Garden was that it was known to everyone. Hey, there are dead spots on that court you need to watch out for.
And didn't it seem like the basketballs were a little darker at Boston Garden than the usual orange color? It seemed like it was more brown than anything else. Didn't it just like tell you the Celtics already had the advantage because you had to come in and deal with that? You had to come in and deal with the dead spots on the floor. You had this little bitty ass locker room that you had to change you had to change out of. You had to go up the steps at center court with the Celtics fans like all on you. 14,890 just like squished in the Boston. Didn't it seem that way?
You know what that was? That was Red Auerbach.
Yeah.
That was Red's influence of, hey, make the opposing team's locker room smaller, make all of these things that we know that everybody's going to come in and we're going to have that. That was the genius of Red Auerbach.
Yeah.
And, I mean, other teams have taken it to the extreme, like the Iowa Hawkeyes with the pink locker, with the opposing locker room is pink.
The opposing locker room is pink.
It's psychological.
Wait a minute. What the hell? A pink locker room? What the hell is that?
What do you need? What do you need to play? What do you need to play football? You need unmatched aggression.
Right.
Well, pink it is psychologically when you see pink, it lowers your aggression level. So when the opposing team comes out of the locker room,
right,
they have less of that. That's the psychology behind it, and that's why they do that. It's one of the greatest things about Iowa Stadium.
Have you ever been in Kinnick Stadium?
I have never been.
Well, I made 2 trips to Kinnick Stadium when I was covering Trinity International up in Deerfield, Illinois. We had to play. What was that? William Penn College? Yeah, I think it was William Penn College, and we had to do a walkthrough before we got to our hotel. Now I get on the bus and I'm zonked out. I was tired.
Mm-hmm.
I'm zonked the hell out. Next thing I know, we're stopping, and I'm thinking, okay, it's time to eat. Nope. Kinnick Stadium, Iowa City. Nice. And the coach looks at me and says, want to see us do our walkthrough? Hell yeah, it's Kinnick Stadium. I want in on this. I must have taken 100 pictures that afternoon with us, and I'm studying the offense. You know, I'm doing what a broadcaster needs to do, and yes, that is a cold shot at quite a few people. I'm studying the offense, I'm studying the defense, but when we had a chance to just run around and get a feel for the place while the players were wrapping up, yeah, I ran in the end zone.
Nice.
I ran in the end zone. I couldn't help it. We went to eat and then went and passed out, and then we played William Penn to a 3-point game, 31-28. But here's another one. A friend asked me recently what was one of my worst broadcast experiences. I was with TIU, and we had to go to South Dakota to play Trinity Christian up in South Dakota. Now, I knew it was going to be a long ride, but the night before, I had duties at Marquette Catholic High School to cover a volleyball match. So I did the volleyball match, and I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to get – and I didn't have a car at the time. I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to get from Michigan City all the way to Deerfield, Illinois? Well, I got some help from Tony Midas, who was the athletic director at the time. He gave me a boost. I got to the train, I raced downstairs. Now, mind you, I haven't had a chance to go home or change or anything. And I started to feel ill. It's when you get that, you've been running around, no sleep, whatever, and you just get that feeling, your stomach starts churning, your body starts shutting down, your body's like, hey, I want to sleep, but you're not, you can't do it. Wow. So I fly downstairs in Union Station and get to the last train of the night that would take me to Deerfield. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll sleep in the train station and then I'll get to TIU via taxi, and that will be that, right? Wrong. Missed the train.
Oh no.
Missed the train.
That's the worst.
Like, now what?
I've been there.
So I get a tap on the shoulder from a friend who drove a taxi cab, and he said, where do you need to go? I said, I have to go to Deerfield, Illinois, because I have a bus to catch to go to South Dakota. What? And I told him I was with TIU and I'm their play-by-play voice, and I'm riding with the team up to South Dakota to do the first game of the year. He said, I'll take you. I said, I don't have enough money to pay you. He said, don't worry about it. You're going to have to eat. I will take you to TIU, and whenever you need a ride, you let me know. I zonk out again. I get in the cab with my suitcase and my equipment, and I fall out. Get to campus. He says, where am I dropping you? You drop me at the basketball arena. That's where we always meet. I get there. I'm sitting in front of the doors, and I zonk out a third time.
Man.
My body wanted to sleep. And from Michigan City to Deerfield, that whole trek, I fell asleep 3 separate times, and each time I only slept 20 minutes. Because I'm thinking, I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss anything. So I already knew it was coming. They open the door. I run right to the bathroom. I get resituated. I come back out. The buses are there. Coach is surprised. And he's Coach Kirk Ware, very, very dear friend. He says, how'd you get here so early? I said, don't ask. Just
don't ask.
Don't ask.
It's been a ride.
And the bad part is I had a horrible sinus headache. I have to call a game in South Dakota. I had a horrible sinus and it was September. It was Indian summer, and it was hot as hell. It was warm that morning. It was humid. That Friday morning, man. And we had a 12-hour ride to South Dakota. Man, this part of my face was just stuffed.
Oh.
No matter how many times you blow your nose, it just keeps filling up. It just keeps coming. Exactly. It just keeps coming. So we had a ton of food. We had a ton of snacks. I didn't want to eat anything because I had the feeling if I ate anything with the way my sinuses were, I'm going to throw it back up.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, my stomach, fortunately, my stomach calmed down. My sinuses didn't. I get on the bus. My head is roaring. Okay, my head is like thumping right now. What's up to CSTV out of Reno, Nevada, and David 3000 out of Massachusetts? But I get on the bus and I zonk out again. This time, I slept from Deerfield, Illinois, all the way to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Ooh.
And we stopped. It was a good 7.5, 8 hours. I didn't move. I got comfortable because we had a coach bus. I got comfortable on that coach bus. I stretched my legs out and I was gone. And I get woken up and I'm like, what? I want to go back to sleep. The coach says, we're stopping to eat. I look out, and we're at a buffet. I'm like, screw it. I'll eat. I ate like a pig. Everything I could get my hands on. Then we get back on I get back on the bus, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be awake to get to Wrong. I zonk out again.
Oh no.
We get to South Dakota. It's about 6:00 on Friday evening. We play Saturday. It's about 6:00 on Friday evening. And I come out of the bus and the sun hit me. And it made my headache worse. It made my sinuses worse. I'm going, oh, dear God. I went to the assistant coach and said, how long are we going to be here? About 90 minutes. Oh, hell. And I couldn't go back to the bus. I had to see what was going on. You ever have a sinus problem that was so bad your eyes get blurry?
Mm-hmm.
That was me.
Oh, yeah.
My eyes were blurry. I had a horrible headache. And I'm watching the play, and all of a sudden I see the quarterback drop by, and there are two of them.
Oh, no. Imagine that call on the field, and there's two quarterbacks on the field. Wait, what?
Exactly. I knew who the quarterback was. But I see two of them.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is going on? And then one of the guys comes up to me, and he looks at me, and he goes, Snowman, you're not feeling well, are you? I feel like hell right now. So they finish the practice. I get through it. I'm walking up and down the sideline trying to keep my brain moving, keep my body moving. We go eat dinner and get to the hotel, and I'm one of the first ones off the bus, and Coach Ware yanked me aside. We go up to the hotel counter, and at this point, I'm ready to pass all the way out. I'm ready to just fall flat on my face. Kurt yanks me aside. He gives me my hotel key, and he says, "Go to bed. I'll look at the itinerary when you wake up in the morning. It's 8:00 right now. I know you're going to be up early. I'll come up. We'll do our coach's interview, but go to bed. I'm telling you, go to bed." I went upstairs and I passed out.
There you go.
I didn't even unpack or anything. I just passed right out, face first on the bed. Didn't cover up, or the air conditioner was on, or nothing. It's like when you have a long ride and your body is rebelling against you, like my sinuses were rebelling against me, and my nose, when I took a shower like at 2 a.m., nose finally cleared, head finally cleared. I'm not dizzy anymore. I'm not seeing two quarterbacks.
There you go.
I'm not seeing three running backs in the same position. Like, what the hell is this?
It was that fresh South Dakota air. That's what it was.
Something messed me up. Something messed me up. When I'm seeing double and triple, and I knew I had to. I got to sleep. Went to sleep. Woke up. Got to do the game. Okay, got to do the game. Got there, and they had no plug-in outlet.
Oh no!
They had no plug-in outlet, and I have my equipment with me, and I'm getting ready to get off the bus. One of the guys inspects the booth for me, and he comes back and he goes, "Brian, we got a problem." And what the hell do you mean we got a problem? What kind of problem we got? Well, there's no outlets in the booth.
Oh.
What? What the hell do you mean there's no outlets in the booth? There's no place for you to plug your equipment in. Like, don't tell me that. Come take a look. So I get out with my equipment, and I got a suitcase full of equipment. Roll it up to the booth. I look under the table, and doggone it, there's no outlets. None. I'm like, how the hell am I going to do this? And I get greeted by the folks at Trinity College in South Dakota. And the guy said, "Is there anything I can help you with?" Yeah, a miracle would be nice. Fortunately, my phone was fully charged, and I knew I had about 3 hours to get through from pregame to postgame. Like, how am I going to play the interviews? So I truly improvised, and I put my headset on, and I used my phone, and I stuck it right here in the headset, and I had the plug from the recorder. When it was time for the interview, I put it in the phone, played it, pulled it out, and went through the entire broadcast with my headset on and the phone stuck in my ear.
The MacGyver of play calling.
I MacGyvered the hell out of that.
There you go.
I MacGyvered the hell out of that. Did the game, went and had dinner, drove home, got home to Deerfield, and I was thinking, okay, I'm going to get my stuff. I'm going to go to my mom's house. I'll be good. You know what I did? I got 3 days at the hotel like 2 blocks away. The hell with y'all. I ain't coming back to Chicago for a few days. I need to sleep.
There you go.
And that wound up getting me a broadcast deal with them for that season for football and basketball. Because she basically said, anytime you need, she learned from the guys about everything I went through to get from Michigan City to Deerfield. And they said, look, we'll make you a deal. Anytime you need to stay here, we'll let you know. But anytime you need to stay here, even if it's for a home game, we got you.
That's
I said,
awesome.
cool. Can I have 3 days? Yes. I slept for 2.5 of those days. So every home game, I had a room waiting for me. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Let me thank you, Chris Dietz, for joining us this morning. I really, really appreciate it.
Awesome. Always good to be here, Snowman. And thanks to Matt for coming on. And like I said, breaking some really awesome news there. And I had to ask him about Jonathan Taylor. You know, fantasy football fans need to know what's going on with Jonathan Taylor this year.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm glad we got through all that. To answer Victor's question in the chat tonight I'm not sure on the time yet because I got to check the Celtics game. I got to see if it's on in my area.
Yeah.
If it's on for me and I can watch the game live and be on live at the same time, I'm going to do that. If I can't, then I'm probably going to go early tonight so I can try to at least catch the end of the game.
If you can't,
that will happen.
If you can't, I'll do an impromptu play-by-play call and I'll bring you on with me.
That sounds good. But like I said, if I can, I'm going to be doing a combo setting the scene. Fifth Down Sports. I'm finally going to do the Guardians of the Galaxy breakdown, which is good. Victor asked when the next setting the scene is. I have been trying to get this Guardians thing out of the way. And before I move on, I'm trying to get this squared away. So I'm going to square that away tonight. And I also have breaking news that we had on Sunday.
Oh boy.
We know Memorial Day is coming up.
Yeah.
We know that comes up on Monday. That is the fifth down official start of summer, which means Summer of Greatness is coming.
Yep.
And the Summer of Greatness will now have its own tournament and its own show day. It will be Sunday afternoons live from Z's Cafe in West Haven, Connecticut. We will be live on site and that's when we will do our tournament each and every week live from the bar. We'll have people come in. Of course, everybody will be able to call in. Everybody will be able. It'll be the same fit down, just live from the bar. Hopefully, grab some people to come on over and be a part of it. And it looks to be a really cool adventure. We're gonna find out. We're gonna go live and see what happens.
And I owe you some equipment to help with the cause. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. Dietz is, Cole is, I am, the chat is, and we hope y'all are too. Justin Catton will join me. The Outlaw will join me this afternoon on the Brian Snow Show at 2:30. And David St. Dennis from David 3000 will join me at 2:05. So long, everybody.